Hey everyone, today I want to talk about the recent update to Marvel Unlimited on September 9th, 2021. They launched a new version of the app, and I was pretty hopeful that it was going to fix some of the things that I wanted to sort of have the app improve on, and turns out they ruined a lot of the functionality for me. So I want to quickly walk through some of the app and just point out some of the things I was hoping they would change and just cover the ways they sort of made it a lot harder to organize and keep track of things on here. So first, we'll start with the homepage. You have a big banner up top, and the first thing you see is recommended series. If it were me personally, I would have put continue reading as the first thing people see when they jump back into the app, just because you have to scroll a little ways to get back into what you were already reading. And I think it's safe to say for a lot of us, we're not just reading one issue and then not continuing a series unless we don't like it, which that happens sometimes, and that is totally fine. But if you look, continued reading isn't even on the first page that you see when you open it. And I'm using an iPad here, so I think it's safe to say that for most tablets this is going to be the case. And it is just a little harder to jump back in when you have to scroll and then find where you left off. And one of the other features that I used heavily was the library. And if you look at the library now, I only have a few things in here because what I ended up doing, since there's so much wasted space here, is I deleted pretty much everything. There are a couple issues it wouldn't let me delete. They just would not load. The option to remove them would not load, and overall it just was not a good experience for me. So I decided to declare bankruptcy, and I added a few series, because this is one thing I do like about the library now, is the fact that you can just add a series. Before, I was just adding either the first issue or the first issue in a very specific story arc that I wanted to read. And the problem with my library was that there were so many story arcs that I wanted to just pop in and out of, that I had, 4 or 5 issues from a single run saved, and now I can just sort of save the entire series and find those issues and those story arcs without having them in multiple areas. And I think, that was something they did really well. They totally botched search, in my opinion. If you take a look at the search part of the app, you'll see series, characters, creators, and reading guides, but let's search for a specific issue. So let's say Hawkeye number 12. And you'll see what populates are a bunch of series and reading guides. So they're not even giving you the 12th issue of Hawkeye anywhere, and it has sort of just really killed a lot of the functionality. I used to use the browse feature a lot to just go through the series in alphabetical order. On the right hand side, you could jump to the letter for the title that you were looking for, at least, and then just sort of search there. But the way they have everything now, it's like they optimized it for the phone and completely disregarded the iPad experience, because you can see there's so much blank space in a lot of areas of the app where we used to get a gridded view in the library, or when we were browsing, or you had a list view with no images for browsing the different series, which I personally preferred because they had the years. You didn't necessarily need to see the image to know which one it was, as long as you knew what year it started in. And now it is just, image, information, and the entire right side of the app is pretty much useless on the iPad. So it really seems like they optimized for phones and forgot to do the optimization options for iPad. And, in the library, it took me 4 clicks just to remove things from my library. And I had a lot of items in there, maybe not as many as some people, but probably over 100 that I ended up deleting, just because it just became too much to scroll through, because I could only see 4 or 5 comics on the page at a time, whereas before I could see, 12 to 16, depending on the size of your screen. They had 4 across and multiple rows down, so they were really optimizing the space on your screen in the previous version of Marvel Unlimited. So it kind of baffles me that they did it this way, and they really killed a lot of the iPad functionality for the app. And, it does appear that they have improved the way you read events in the app. And as someone who isn't huge on comic book events, which I've talked about on this channel before, it was just something that I was really disappointed to see, that they made some slight improvements that they probably honestly should have made a while ago, and they totally butchered a ton of the app. I was texting some friends about it, and it seemed like we were all on the same page for the functionality of the app, and I hope they put out some fixes soon. Even though the reading experience is largely the same, if people can't have ways to organize their comics in a way that they like, it might turn them away from the app. And, I've been a huge proponent of Marvel Unlimited and DC Universe Infinite, despite their flaws, because of how much content they are giving you for an amazing value. And I still stand by that. You are getting a ton of content for $10 a month or less if you sign up for an annual plan. And it really is just disappointing to see that they put this update out, and it really feels like they didn't consider anyone who's reading on a tablet. And I really think that, this is something they're going to have to fix in upcoming versions. It does look nicer. I will give them that. I do like that it'll tell you how many issues right off the bat are in a series. Like, you could look up the Marvel Knights Daredevil and it says, 132 issues or whatever it is. I do think that is an improvement as well. So it's not that the entire app had absolutely no improvement and went backwards. It's just they made these nice improvements in some areas and then totally butchered it in others. And I hope they fix it soon, because I love this app. I love reading comics on it. And, I really want to be able to get back to that in a way that makes sense for how I want to organize my comics and just read them in a particular order and things like that. So, I will probably have a lengthier review once some things get worked out, but these were just some first thoughts that I had on the app, and I really do hope that they sort of fix them sooner rather than later. They can take some time to put updates out, honestly, and I did check out the Infinity comics. Just a quick side note on this. The reading experience on the iPad was okay. It's definitely made more for phones, because you can tell the images are sort of blown up larger than life on the iPad when you're scrolling through, and you scroll through vertically, not horizontally. So that is definitely something to get used to. And I think everyone's mileage will vary with those. Let me know what you all think of the update in the comments. Hopefully you like it more than I did, but I still think there's a lot of room for them to improve the Marvel Unlimited app. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit that subscribe button. You can follow me on social media and check out my podcast. There are links to those things in the description. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching.